Welcome back. This is the review of the Hammer Effect Tour. Now this ball does have a 2.47 RG, a .036 diff, and a .012 intermediate diff. It's wrapped in the Tour V3 Solid, which from the Obsession Tour, that was the Tour V2 Solid. And the core is the Huntsman Tour core. It's basically the effect core with the little puck at the bottom chopped off. Now it is a pretty big core, but numbers wise is down there with the Envy Tour. Now this ball is a workhorse. It's very smooth, and I did get to throw it in a couple of leagues and in a tournament. So I am going to change the format of the videos a little bit. Instead of doing the live videos mic'd up, I'm just going to have different shots and try to get shots from a couple of different houses, and either from league or tournaments as well, so I can give you guys a better review of what the ball has done in use, instead of getting an out the box, because of course out the box is going to be different. And this is after I've played with surfaces a little bit. And also on the strikes, I am going to do a slow-mo, show where I slid, where I hit at the arrows and the break point. And this is going to be basically from my eye, so don't come at me about how accurate it is. It's going to be close from what I can see, because I am recording videos in different houses and then going back as I'm editing to kind of get the data from it. Now this ball, as you saw from the cover photo, it's like butter. It's very smooth. I did short pin it. I have a 1 1/4 by 6 1/4 by 3 1/4 PAL layout on it, and I did play around with surfaces a little bit. I usually keep it between 2,000 and 3,000 depending on what house I'm bowling in. So on this first video, this house has a little bit more friction. This was right after league on the same pair I bowled league on, and I was able to stay in the ball all 3 games. Now because of the super short pin, I can start off straighter with it, and surprisingly I was able to keep moving left with it, and it kept coming. I did not think I would be able to stay in it that long because it is super short pin. So I thought once I started getting more left, further and further left, that eventually it would quit. But I don't know if it's because that core is still pretty big that it kept going. Like I said, I could start with it game 1 because of the surface and that solid cover, and then I guess because of the numbers, I can just stay in it all 3 games. And I've seen a couple people throw it as well, where same thing, they're able to start with the game 1, and then you can move left, slow it down, and it still keeps coming. And theirs was, they bowled with 3 fingers, and his just kept coming as well. He got left, started getting around a little bit more, and the ball just kept working. So it is very responsive to hand positions, and because it's so smooth, you can shape it how you want it if you can change your hand positions and speed. Also with the rev rate as well. Now, as you see on this video, I'm still doing the same thing, starting more to the right and then transitioning left with it, just so you can see what it does in different zones. Now, as you see, I'm still getting left here, and this video right here, this is starting at the other house that I bowl in, and I did bowl league with it there, and I'm able to start further right because there isn't as much friction in this house, so I can start more up the right, more up the back. And as you see from here on this strike, sliding on 16, 7 at the arrows, and 4 at the break point. Now in this house, this was on a fresh house shot. They oiled it for league, but they didn't end up using it. So on fresh, as you can see, I had to start further right. Now in this house, I did bowl league with it, and I was on a pair with someone who also has a higher rev rate. Actually, he was throwing his as well. So he started a little further left than me because he started with it slower, and we both were able to just stay in it all 3 games and just keep going left with it. And that was one of the main things, like being able to stay in this ball all 3 games for the most part in league. Got to where I can pretty much take this to league and only throw this in my spare ball, of course. But because it's so smooth, it's very predictable and had no issues, with carry with it for the most part. And once it starts breaking down in league, then you can just keep chasing it left, and it lets you know when to make the move as well. So in this house, I would have a messenger come across to take out the 9 pin, and that's when I knew, all right, I needed to go further left with it. Now, it can be tricky because it kind of, because it is so smooth on the back end, you kind of hesitate to move because it doesn't make a quick shape. Um, as far as looking at it compared to other bowling balls, but like I said, I knew once I started getting messengers coming across, and I knew I threw a good shot off my hand, that it was time to move because the core was stabilizing too quickly. So it kind of let me know when it was time to move with it, but I didn't get punished big time for it. I might leave a 9 pin, but like I said, at league in this house, I just had a messenger come across and take the 9 out. So I knew, all right then and there, just go ahead and move. And then, like I said, it kept going. As you see here, I kept going left with it, started slowing it down more, getting it to the friction, and this ball just kept coming. And I did take my hoodie off because I started getting hot on here. But from now on, I'm going to do the reviews like this where I can get more shots in a shorter amount of time, and like I said, try to get shots from a couple of different houses, or have bowled league in a couple of different houses or a tournament somewhere, and I can give you guys a better review and not out the box, because a lot of balls out the box look great, but once you start using them in different houses in different situations, then you kind of get lost. So from now I'm going to do the reviews like this. So let me know if you guys like the reviews like this, and or any suggestions you have. But from now on, we're going to do them like this for a little bit and see how these go and see how you guys like them. And just go ahead and enjoy the rest of the shot compilation.